Current estimates hold the population will reach 9 billion by 2038. One of the major problems we face is feeding everyone. Diseases are at an all-time high. The current model for food production is unhealthy and unsustainable. There's got to be a better way.
Scientists say that if 14% of the world planted a permaculture garden or some type of garden just in their backyard, we can replenish the entire earth.
So we're setting out to find people who are doing things differently.
We'll be looking into alternatives to current food practices that are damaging our health and environment.
We'll be meeting the chefs, farmers, restaurateurs, and entrepreneurs who are making a difference. And you'll find out just how easy it is for you to become a part of the solution. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Hit that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends. We'll be eating the freshest food, meeting amazing people, and seeing what we can do to become a healthier, more environmentally friendly world right here on The Fork and Truth.
Agriculture is about 10,000 years old, and there's a lot of things we threw out, kind of threw out the baby with the bathwater. When we left alchemy, which was a whole science, and we went with the fracturing of it into biology and chemistry and all these silos of knowledge. So we broke it up, and alchemy was it was a science. And they talked about nitrogen and they talked about other things. But they might have called it Taurus, but Taurus is nitrogen. So when you read the alchemical text, you begin to see that they're talking about nitrogen and phosphorus and NPK and all those other things we have come to understand in agriculture. So here there are no pests and there are no weeds. They are messengers. And so we listen, we go out and see, oh, there's a lot of weeds in this area, or there's a lot of aphids on my Brussels sprouts. So they're going, hey, dude, over here, come here, problem. So you don't kill the messenger, okay? This is industrial agriculture kills the messenger, but we've created those problems. So everybody is always here. All of the pest, all the weeds, everything, all of the life is always here, okay? And so when it's out of balance, it's our fault. We've done something to throw the marriage out of balance. Okay, so I'm going to take you down into the mother, and then after this, I'll take you out beyond the Milky Way.
This sounds good.
So down here, we store some of the biodynamic preparations. And this is the horn manure, and we store things in peat moss. Peat moss helps preserve the preparations. Okay, so this is bison or buffalo horn manure, and I'm holding right there about enough to fertilize 1 acre of land.
With just that little amount?
That amount. So what we're dealing with is homeopathic treatments, parts per million or billion, and we're putting those gestures out into the landscape. That manure was stirred with preparations, put in the horns. I don't know if you want to look over there, there's a whole pile of horns. And so this preparation, the horn manure, the manure is put into the horn. This is buried in the earth, and it goes through the winter celestials. This is fertility and abundance. This is manure, it's nitrogen. But it's been transformed. Rudolf Steiner gave these indications in 1924. And what he said was true for Europe. The cow is the ruminant that built the soils of Europe, or the cattle. But here in North America, the bison built the soils. And so we're a little bit heretics in the movement, a little bit. We're pushing the edges, but we're trying to make preparations that are appropriate for North America. Okay, so we're doing cow like was recommended in 1924 in Europe. Steiner brought us, but we're doing bison preparations or buffalo preparations also. And we're finding actually that the buffalo preparations are far more potent. So, just as the mother is Mother Earth, and the preparations relating to her are more stored in the ground, under the house in the root cellar, the Father is stored in the lake. So we store these substances here in the light. Come on in, you can see. So the silica is about form and quality, and it helps create form. It's not talked about much in other agricultural stewardship practices, but it's critical to the form of things. Right?
Oh,
you wouldn't have
nails,
grasses, or
everything,
you wouldn't have these things. You wouldn't have the form in all the fruits and vegetables and plants and without the silica, even in us. See, the earth is breathing, inhaling, exhaling every day, right? We don't think about it. We're not trained to feel it anymore, but if we pay attention, we can tell. Here we're coming into an afternoon, and so the earth is inhaling for that evening. And then the morning comes, at dawn, it exhales. And some of the work we're doing here, we're using other crystals, right? We're making 15 different silicas. Okay. There's quartz, there's rose quartz, there's opal, okay? There's other highly siliceous rock, right? And they affect form differently. Like opal affects color in your crop. We're also working with the biodynamic practitioners in North America, and we're bringing these practices in. And later I'll show you soil tests that our third-party laboratory soil test with data that is showing this kind of exponential rise in the fertility of our land from doing this weird stuff. Okay, and so we're doing the good, sound, physical stuff, rotations, grazing, and composting, and all those organic things. But that we found out wasn't enough, and so that was the horizontal.
Right.
Or the physical. And we brought this place, it was sick. And we brought animals here as breeding stock, and they were sick. And so with this good sound physical, permaculture, organic, all that stuff, we brought it up to this. It wasn't until we brought in the metaphysical, or our intention, right, that the soil life just took off.
Yeah.
So we work in gratitude.
Yeah.
And when we start to really do that, don't believe anything I say.
It just takes off.
Try it.
Yeah.
I can't. It's working here. Working for us. It's working for other biodynamic practitioners and others. So I'm perfectly unqualified for what I do every day. I have a master's in fine art. I don't have soil science degrees from agricultural colleges, but that gave me a freedom to try things. We are not discovering a flavor that's never been. What we're doing is just getting back to what our ancestors, maybe just 2 or 3 generations back, knew about this explosion of vitality and expression of the foods that came from the earth and the sky. I was weird. They called me edible.
If you've enjoyed watching this bite-sized segment at Sustainable Settings, then keep an eye out for the full episode where Brook has a ton more information for you. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so and hit the notification bell to keep up to date with everything we're doing. See you next time.